Moving on to our next story, the British government has admitted to possessing the power to hack into computers, phones, and communications networks anywhere in the world. The startling revelation surfaced after a legal challenge by a civil rights group in 2014. Privacy International sought to examine allegations relating to state-sponsored hacking uncovered by whistleblower Edward Snowden. The group later obtained a court document penned by government lawyers. There, the British government outlined its authority to infiltrate mobile phones, laptops, tablets, and networks used on a daily basis. Privacy International says these powers amount to a massive invasion of privacy. It says intelligence agencies exploit communications networks in clandestine maneuvers that seriously undermine the security of the World Wide Web. And to offer us more insight on that story, we're joined by journalist and political commentator Mr. John White, who's with us from Edinburgh. Mr. White, welcome to the program. These revelations are starting to be a little more than just startling and alarming. They're borderline petrifying. My question is, what gives the British government the right to be able to obliterate personal privacies in this manner? And given by this report, it's not just inside Britain, it's a power that they can transcend their borders as well.
Well, it's a right they have taken. It's a right that has no basis in law, and certainly has no basis in morality. And it reveals that words such as liberty and freedom and privacy no longer exist in Britain in any meaningful sense. And what we are seeing here, the most worrying thing we are seeing here, is the arrogation of power by the security service to the point where we are looking at the creation of a shadow government, which exists in parallel with the elected government, unaccountable, with unfettered power, and with all the characteristics of a totalitarian state. That's not me exaggerating, because if you scour the BBC today, as I have done just before coming on here, you will struggle to find this story anywhere. And perhaps that's one of the most alarming aspects of it, the fact that the British public is by and large uninformed and ignorant of these revelations brought to us by Privacy International.
Mr. White, the issue of international eavesdropping and espionage of certain countries, it far surpasses Britain alone. It's the GCHQ in Britain, the NSA in the United States, the nexus of spy agencies that has come to be known as the Five Eyes. What are these spy agencies actually looking for?
Well, they're looking to exercise control, complete domination of the world by dominating information, by surveying every other rival power, economy, under the rubric of national security. There is a historical parallel here with the 1950s at the height of the Cold War. Your viewers will recall the hysteria in the United States and in the West in general over communism and the so-called infiltration of communism and communist spies and agents in the West. And this was headed under the mantra, Reds under the bed. Now we have terrorists under the bed. But this has become so out of control that it really brings to mind the haunting words of the Roman poet and writer Juvenal, writing in 3 AD, when he said, "Who will guard the guardians?" As I say, those words have now come back to haunt us in 2015.
Thank you very much, Mr. John White, joining us from Edinburgh.